Have a look at how they line up, keeping it and they draw for these positions. Out of a hat, Charles Ryan will be pretty happy. He sits on pole alongside Robert Smith from the youngster Paul Wheel and Chris Smurden.
Out of row 3, Darcy Russell and Mike Emery in the Cyber-Rec Commodore. Brett Peters makes his return to touring car racing this weekend, and John Briggs in the Super Cheap Autos Ford.
Back to position number 9, it's Rod Nash and Kevin Heffernan, Steve Reed and Mal Rose. Now, the word we get that Mal hasn't come out onto the circuit.
Doesn't look like he's on the grid at the moment. Danny Osborne, and off the back, Jeff Kendrick.
Couple of happy people off the front row. Charles Ryman sitting in the number 1 spot alongside Robert Smith as they begin the drag down this 1.1 kilometre long straight. Paul Wheel starting to creep there a little bit. Away we go. Pretty even start. No one got the big advantage there. Wheel's got the inside run though. Paul Wheel leads the way, and coming straight through the middle is Chris Smurden.
Yeah, great start from Paul Wheel, the young Queenslander. Charles Ryman's trying to attack back on the inside, but not enough real estate down there. Look at Wheel, he's right over the wide line. There's been a tangle. Bit of contact between Kevin Heffernan and Robert Smith. One's gone off in the gravel there. Fortunately, no damage. The Cyber-Rec Commodore Mike Emery involved in 2. Darcy Russell caught up in the dust. Boy, oh boy. They said that turn 1 was going to be exciting. Well, it's proving that today. As Paul Wheel leads them through. Chris Smurden now up to 2nd position.
This is good for the young guy who turns 19 on Tuesday. Paul Wheel, here he is in the K&J Radiators Falcon from Chris Smurden, who's done extremely well to get up there. Positions changing everywhere, and Danny Osborne's come through. Have a look at this between Briggs and Smurden. This is great stuff.
Well, Danny Osborne's come from the back of the grid there, so what a start he's had, and taking 2nd spot. What a great move there.
Well, John Briggs showing plenty of muscle there around the outside of Chris Smurden as they turn back toward. Oh, look at that down the inside too. Nash it is in the Commodore. Steve Reed starting to make a charge through the pack as well. So really sorting themselves up in that first lap. As Lee Dickey said at the open, these positions are drawn out of a hat on Saturday afternoon. They have no relevance to their qualifying speed. That's why you get this tremendous mix-up. Now, John Briggs looks like he's had a bit of body contact there. Let's have a look at the Shell Helix replay of that start. Robert Smith out there in the front. Look at this pack come charging through.
And Paul Wheel, what a great move down the inside. Now, he's actually gone inside the white line there. He's actually gone off the track and then come across. There's been all sorts of havoc going on back there. And poor Robert Smith's ended up out in the dirt.
Mike Emery too.
Mike Emery, he turns around.
Everybody nervous going into the first corner. They've sorted themselves out now, and they've started to spread out a little bit. How about Rod Nash? Very impressive run from him. He sits 3rd at the moment. He's been quick all weekend. It's been a very strong performance from him. But how about this? The young Queenslander from the Gold Coast, Paul Wheel, leads the way, and he's doing a terrific job from Briggs. There's Rod Nash in the high lift entry. Then we go back to Chris Smurden, followed by Danny Osborne.
I wonder if John Briggs can do it again. He's been the most successful driver in the privateer sprint this year, 3 times the winner. We've had 6 different winners from 8 different starts. Could we have the 7th different winner from 9 if Paul Wheel can get up and win his first privateer sprint?
Well, this is a lot with the control tyre formula, doesn't it? They're going well, although the positions are always jostled around. The faster guys usually make their way towards the front. We've got just 2 laps left to run in this 4-lap Privateer Cup sprint race. Paul Wheel is halfway there to his first win.
Well, that's the beauty of the privateer sprint, particularly in 1998. All the privateers running in this competition running on the same Yokohama control tyre, so it's a real level playing field for everyone. And look at this big attack. Yeah.
Steve Reed, now you see Chris Smith got a little bit wide coming onto the front straight, and I think that plays a big part. He's got a slow run onto the straight. Steve Reed, Heffernan having a spin. Someone else, Mike Emery again.
That's their second one for both of them, because Heffernan went around on the first turn also.
First turn, that's right.
That's coming on to the main straight before they make their way down this 1.1 kilometre drag strip. It's fantastic. Not much further to go, though, for this guy. Paul Wheel made the transition from Supercross to Stadium Off-Road last year. He won the Australian Championship last year in his first season. He just took them by storm. Now making the transition into a V8 supercar, and he's handled it very, very well.
Look at the amount of speed that John Briggs is carrying. He's barged his way through really aggressively off the start line. He's got Wheel well within sights now in the Super Cheap Autos Falcon. Nash back there in 3rd position. And Steve Reed, he's making great progress too. He's up in front of Smurden, up to 4th. So the order now as they come into the final lap: Wheel, Briggs, Nash, Reed, Smurden, Osborne, Ryman, Kendrick, Peters and Emery back there in 10th position.
Keep in mind too that Steve Reed's come from 11th position up into 4th, so he's done very well. Very well, as we are on our way home. 1 more lap left to run. Can Rod Nash get John Briggs? Have a look at this under brakes.
Oh, he's gone in there. Great move, Rod.
Well, there's plenty of there's plenty of room on the inside, isn't there, Greg? Cars stepping across the white line. They use a little bit of extra territory on the inside.
You've actually got to move out after that so you don't hit the curb. So he's fired down the inside there. Good move, good under braking move. And John Briggs will be pushed back to 3rd spot.
Just half a lap left to run for Paul Wheel. He's got enough over Rod Nash. This is great because two new competitors into the V8 Supercar formula in Rod Nash and Paul Wheel, and they're going to have their strongest placings here. This is terrific.
Nash Commodore looks terrific. It's the ex-Wayne Gardner Racing Commodore. Started off with a bit of a patchwork paint job in the early part of the season, but now it's been resprayed and it's high lift colours. Very neat, well-presented privateer's car, and he's driving it very well up to second position as we approach the final corners.
He won't have enough to catch Paul Wheel, although he'll try his very best. Wheel now coming round onto the main straight. There's a checkered flag there waiting for the young Queenslander. This will be a huge confidence boost for him. Well done, the 18-year-old rookie to V8 Supercars. Paul Wheel wins his first Privateer Cup sprint. Well done. That's a really good confidence boost for him. Rod Nash in for a well-earned second spot, and John Briggs in for third. Well, he could be a star in the making. Young Paul Wheel picking up his first win. As we check the Shell Helix race score, Rod Nash in for a good second spot, Briggs in for third, ahead of Steve Reed and Chris Smurden rounding out the top five.